Hello and welcome back. Today I'm taking you to one of my favorite places, Van Dyke's Flower Farm. So Van Dyke's is a local flower farm in Millville, New Jersey, and they grow probably the most tulips in New Jersey if I had to guess. And it's their tulip season right now. I mean, they grow all kinds of flowers, but I feel like they're a little known for their tulips. And they have a cooler which customers can go into and pick out flowers, and it's like one of my favorite things to do. So tomorrow my cousin is hosting a tea in memory of her best friend who passed away, and they do a little scholarship fund for the high school that we all went to. So for the tables I do small bouquets, because they tend to have a lot of things on the table at a tea. You know, the tiered thing with the scones and the sandwiches and the little desserts at the top and everybody's teacups and milk and honey and sugar. So I make sure that the little centerpieces are tiny, but cheery, so that you still have something fresh on the table. So I have to make 11 of them for the tables tomorrow. I'm thinking maybe 5 tulips per centerpiece. So maybe like 6 tulip bouquets. 6 bunches from here today. So I'm going to take you into their cooler, which always gets me excited. No matter, I feel like I come here like once a week in the summertime, just because I supplement their flowers with ours when I make little centerpieces for my cousin's restaurant. So, because they grow a bigger variety than I do, and I just like to come here, really. So I'll bring you in and show you, and we'll pick out some tulips together. Okay, here we go. So here's their cooler. It's very chilly in here. They do sell pre-made bouquets, and then all these beautiful tulips. All these beautiful colors: yellow, pink, orange, white. I love this pinky purple color. Lighter pinks. All the pretty tulips that they have, and we're gonna pick some out. So I ended up picking the dark pinkish purple because I thought they would look very pretty on the tables, and while I was there they had picked their first lily of the valley of the season, and I told her how much my grandmother loved them, so she gave me this piece to take home and put in water. So I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, here we go. Here I am finishing up the rest of the centerpieces for the tea. Earlier I pulled out all our teacups and saucers to wash them and get them ready. Between my mom's collection and my aunt's, I think they have probably at least 60 sets between them, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. We actually end up supplying a good portion of the teacups for the event, and every time I take them out, it makes me smile. It brings me right back to them. I was originally planning to talk through this clip, but my husband had his chatters going in the background, and it made me laugh because it's just so us. It's funny. Mark and I are both introverts and extroverts in our own way. He might actually be the most talkative introvert I've ever met. I still remember our first date. We went to the driving range, and I finished my entire bucket of balls while he was only hit a few because he was too busy talking. And honestly, Marky is the exact same way. He's playing t-ball right now, and he likes to play first base, and I'm pretty sure it's just because he gets to talk to everyone who ends up on the base. But at the same time, my husband is totally content being himself and spending time with his plants. He doesn't need a lot to be happy. And me, I'm kind of the opposite version of that. I'm not a big talker, and it's kind of funny to think about me starting a YouTube channel, but here I am. I feel like I've come out of my shell the older I get. I really do love people. It just takes me time to open up. But if I'm alone for too long, I start to miss that connection. And to be honest, I've actually really been enjoying this, talking to the camera like it's a friend. I think I used to have my mom around me constantly, and we talked about everything. And now that she's gone and life's busy for everyone, I feel myself talking things out on my own quite a bit. You know, all your friends are moms and they're busy being moms, so you don't want to bug anybody. So I guess this is my version of it now. Talking to you like a friend. You're like my own little version of YouTube therapy. So thank you. The rest of the teacups and saucers are in the dishwasher, and I'll bring them over as soon as they're done. So I have a story for you today. When I was at Van Dyke's, the owner was in there and she was telling me that her family was from Holland, and during World War II, they had a lot of food insecurity related to the war, and the Germans were trying to starve them out. And her family took the tulip bulbs and made a bread out of them. They like mashed them up, and that kept them from starving. So I thought that was really interesting. And as I was leaving, her son came in, and he was holding their first lilies of the valley of the season. And it made me think of my grandmother, because we used to have a big lily of the valley patch here, and my grandmother always loved it. And it's not there anymore because one of the other plants like took over its area. But my uncle is in the hospital right now, and he's not doing well, and they don't think he's gonna make it. And seeing that lily of the valley today made me think of my grandmother. And my mom, I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump around with the story for a second. My mom got sick about 15 years ago, and she was septic and on a ventilator and very sick, and they didn't think she was gonna make it. And after she woke up from being in the coma and was recovering, she told my sister and I that my grandmother sat at the foot of her bed, and while she was unconscious in a coma, and encouraged her and told her that it wasn't her time, but she stayed with her the whole time. So it kind of made me think, this is a different grandmother. It's my grandmother on the other side. She had 11 children, so this is one of the older males in the family, and it made me think that was like a little sign that she's probably sitting there with my uncle, giving him comfort right now. So that lily of the valley is now sitting on my counter and reminding me that he is not alone, and that my grandmother is with him. So that's my story of the day, and I'm gonna finish getting this stuff together and take it over to my cousin so that she can get ready for tomorrow. Okay? So I am finished all the little tulip arrangements. I just washed the teacups that wouldn't fit in the dishwasher. A nice little platter there for them. The tea was honestly such a lovely day, and it's such a nice event that goes to a good cause and makes me feel happy to be part of it. So many of my cousins were there, and even one of my friends from high school came, and it just turned out to be one of those afternoons that fills your cup in the best way. We sat around and chatted, enjoyed tea sandwiches and fresh scones, and just slowed down for a little while. There was something really special about that kind of gathering. No rush, no pressure, and just good conversation, good food, and being together. They also put together a Chinese auction with beautiful baskets, which added such a fun and thoughtful touch to the day. I've always loved tea gatherings like this, and moments like today really get me thinking that I've been toying with the idea of hosting events on the farm, and if I ever do, I think a tea would be the great way to start. There's something so meaningful about bringing women together in a relaxing, welcoming space, surrounded by flowers, nature, and conversation. It feels simple, but also really special. Days like this remind me that sometimes the most beautiful things we create aren't just flowers. It's the space we make for connection, for remembering, and for simply being together. And that's something I'd love to grow more of here on the farm.